What's up, everybody? Welcome, hello. Welcome to Clips of the Week, episode 10. We're in the double digits now. Can you believe it? We're here. Double digits time. What's up, everybody? How are you doing today? It's Monday. Happy MLK Day to those of y'all in the States. Martin Luther King Day. How many y'all, I hope y'all got at least school off? I know public schools got off. I know some jobs have off, right? But either way, however way you're celebrating, welcome me here, and I'm glad. And we thank people like Martin Luther King for me being able to sit up here and stream for y'all, be in this house. So, yeah, work, that sucks. Well, I got work today too. Look where I'm at. No, but I enjoy what I do. So, I'm sorry. For those who had to work, I'm sorry. But we're here. We're here today. And in usual fashion, of course, we're going to be looking at what y'all got for me today. Whoa. There's a couple of things that I want to look at, actually. You got the MLK. For some reason, I read that as I got to thank milk. And I'm like, there's no I in there, but it looked like it. What's up, Arson? And GX up, Tomez? David, why'd you redact your message? Imagine streaming in the 1960s. I mean, that's called being on TV. Yeah, I wish I had something more special planned, intended for the 10th stream, but I don't. Sorry, I don't have anything special planned. I should have, but it's been crazy. So, it was so Ty or Jay, I guess, right? But yeah, I don't have anything special planned, and I want to make sure the stream is not unlisted, right? Like, we're good today. Okay, this is public. All right, good. Just want to make sure, because I was like messed up last time. Wow, Gig Salad. I haven't heard that name in ages. I used to be J Music used to have a profile on Gig Salad and Gig Masters, both of those. That's crazy. That's like a throwback to me. Wow, I haven't used that in like 10 years. But anyway, what was I gonna say? I forgot what I was gonna say. Really, Arson? That's kind of cool. Yelp for gigs. That's a good way of putting it. It's like LinkedIn for gigs. Is the best way to put it. But anyway, yeah. So I will say to those who are watching in the past, thank you so much to our patrons. You all have been helping me and supporting. We're growing. The Patreon's growing, and I got things planned for you. Got a lot of cool things planned, which I'm very happy about. But I know him. He just don't want to say his name publicly. Oh, no. I think you might be thinking about his little sister. Daughter? I've only taught like specific. Yeah. I'm about to say there's only one person specifically. Yeah, we have talked about him before. I'm about to say there's only one person specifically whose like daughter I've taught, and like they're like a pretty established musician now. They're like actually really, really good and killing it right now. But nah, yeah, the person you're talking about does not have kids. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, let's start out the stream with something interesting. Diosynth. Never heard of this, but I'm very curious to see what the heck this thing is. Definitely looks quite interesting. I don't know why YouTube insists on not opening in theater mode. I always want to open in theater mode. All right. There you go. Yeah, let's check this out. So this is Foolish Frankie. We watched one of his videos before. You know, he had a pretty good video, like really good video actually on was like gigging as a musician, like being like gigging as a musician, right? Like the reality of gigging as a musician. So, yeah, let's check out this new instrument. I'm probably not gonna watch the whole thing because that's a lot. Maybe we'll skip around a little bit, but just to check out what this instrument is. Yeah, let's see. I hope that it fixes the issues. Like, cause you know, Iwi is like one of the reasons that people continue to swear up and down about the Iwi is because it was like it still is like the most fluid and dynamic wind synth. It has the best technology. It doesn't sound cheap. I don't like the Roland as much. Like, it doesn't feel good for me to play. I haven't tried the Emio yet, but Iwi is just like it's compatible. It's like unfortunately it kind of is like the Iwi the Apple of wind synths. So, but yeah, let's check this out and see what it looks. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully it is good. Dio synth. Oh my god. Is that a JoJo reference?
In this box is the brand new Diosynth made by ASM. I'm super excited to check this thing out. This was sent to me for free in exchange for an honest review, so I'm going to do an unboxing, and yeah, let's get into it. Hey, I opened it right side up. I truly am so excited about this instrument. Whenever I got on a call with this company and they were telling me all about it and showing me the features, to me, it seemed like it was the perfect combination of the things that I don't like about the Aerophone that I currently play and the things that I do like about the Yamaha YDS, which I also have. It's also just exciting.
Interesting, yeah, the YDS. I know about the WX5. That's like a classic. Before the Roland, the WX5 was like the closest thing to like a saxophone that we had. But I've never tried the WDS. I think, let me see. When Yamaha WDS. What is this? No, wait. Instrument. WDS? Did he say YDS or WDS?
Things that I do like about the Yamaha YDS.
I typed in WDS. Oh yeah, this, yeah, this thing. Yes, I did play one of these. I have actually played one of these before. I remember, yeah, this thing. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I thought I would love it to death, and when I played it, I wasn't the biggest fan of it. Like, to me, it was like, yeah, the Iwi still does it the best, at least up until whatever this thing is that we're checking out now. But yeah, I do remember this. Let's keep checking it out. The Sans thing about you know, Foolish Frank is in the VGM scene, Arson. So, how does an electric mouthpiece work? It's basically like just registering the wind as an input, like the air you put into it. You play one of those at a conference? Which one, the Yamaha or the Dio? Dan. Oh, you had no clue, Arson? Yeah, he's in the VGM scene. Yeah, Lion. That's what. Maybe you just got here, but if you just got here, welcome. But yeah, I was just saying how I don't like the Roland as much. I'm not really the biggest fan. I played the Roland. I played the Yamaha. Yeah. I played the Roland. I played the Yamaha. Yeah, and like, as much as I don't like the Iwi, like, it's not that I don't like the Iwi. It's just that I can't stand the octave rollers. Everything except for the octave rollers is perfect to me. I think the Iwi is like the perfect wind synth. Other than that. Oh my God, Arson. Yeah, let's check it out.
I also have. It's also just exciting to be one of the first people to get their hands on one of these things. I'm just stoked. Oh, it comes with a stand. That's right. Yeah, I forgot. So this thing comes with a wind synth stand, which is amazing because I had to buy a separate one for my Aerophone, and that was kind of annoying. So it's great. It comes with a WinSynth stand, and it comes with an amazing case they showed me. So let's check that out.
Huh. Wow. Look at that thing. Okay, that is one thing. I don't know if it's been updated since, but that's one thing that back in the day, we used to have to really shop for. Like, you either had to get an EWI case. If you wanted a case for EWI, you had to get it custom made, or you did what I do that all of us did back in the day, was get a Soprano case because it was the same length as Soprano. So you get a Soprano case, you put the EWI in the Soprano case, and you don't have to worry about it breaking really because it's all metal. So. What's up, Lion? But yeah, this is actually like a really good. I mean, the fact there's an actual case is already amazing. So
it's definitely packaged really well. So here is the case. This is definitely a very sturdy case. It's kind of like one of those hard flight cases. There's no like flex in it or anything. And it also looks like it locks, which is pretty sick. So,
that's killing.
All right, let's check out the actual synth.
Wow.
Ooh, wow. Well, right away I'm noticing like the case
the SpongeBob
is like this molded foam, so that's really nice. Everything about the case feels very sturdy. Some of the things that I don't like about the Aerophone, for example, is that it kind of just comes in this gig bag, which is fine, but it definitely does not feel very well protected when I'm lugging it to my gigs. So
I mean, I guess, but is there really anything that delicate about the Aerophone? Like, I understand what he's saying, but I don't really remember there being that. Yeah, I mean, this is like, again, it's same thing. It's all metal. Like, I don't really see anything that delicate about this unless you're like dropping. Like, are you physically like like, this is cool. I like that. I like the fact that there's a case for it in general. Like, for something that, you know, looks like this, or instrument like this. I think it's cool that there's a case in general, but I don't really see an issue with that case that was just shown. I've seen worse for actual like wind instruments, like acoustic wind instruments. So I don't know, but let's keep on.
I'll eat this. All right, there are the keys for the case. Looks like it
got keys. That's crazy.
Comes with all different kinds of.
Okay, so that's a USB A or B to USB C. Okay.
Cables. This looks like a USB-C cable. This is another USB-C cable, but both ends are USB-C. This one had USB-A or whatever. Then it looks like it comes with some type of 1/4-inch cable, so that's cool.
What was this? Yeah, those are like stereo cables.
It comes with this USB-C charging
and
cable.
Lightning?
It looks like it maybe both charges it and can transmit data.
There's USB and Lightning.
So that's pretty sick. And then there's a neck strap. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm not really sure what's in this box.
Power supply.
Power supply, sick. So this can run on either a power supply like this, or it does take batteries as well.
That's good.
Oh, amazing. These are all kinds of...
I like that it's both. The EWI cannot run off of a power supply. The 4000, right? The classic one, the one that I still have, you need batteries for that. So the fact that you can actually use both is actually really good. The only EWI that can run, that, to my knowledge, I don't know if the 5000 changed this, but the only EWI that I know that can run off power is USB because it has to run via USB. So the fact that this is like running off of can do both is actually really good.
Adapters. If you guys remember my NUX B6 Pro unboxing, these were what was missing. So actually this is funny. I bet these will work with the plug that company had sent me. But since I'm in the US, I'll just pop this one on. I think you just slide it on maybe this way.
Classic.
There we go.
Yep.
Ah, I see. And then you'll plug in one of these cables down here, probably this one.
Classic power situation.
With the USB end. Cool. You'll plug that into here. And it looks like it's a nice long length too.
Let's go and see what I want to really see. Yep, he's getting to the thing right here.
To the sides of the case. Okay, but now let's get into the actual synth. Cool.
That's hot. That looks great. only issue I'm having is that the keys look very similar to the Yamaha. At least they went, yeah, I mean, like, more companies are going down the saxophone key spring simulation route, right? Like, trying to make it more like a real woodwind instrument as opposed to the touch-sensitive stuff on the Iwi. But it's a really good-looking instrument, man. Yeah, really good-looking instrument.
All right, there it is. Whoa, this thing is sweet. So one of the
Okay, the back looks like the Roland, huh? And it's using that same octave system that the Roland and the Yamaha uses instead of the Roland. I guess, yeah, people realize, like, yeah, nobody wants to be messing with that. But I'm curious, can you click the octave? Or does this only have 5 octaves? Can you actually, like,
things I'm super excited about is this octave key mechanism. So on the Roland, it's very similar. It has 2 octave keys up and 2 octave keys down. The problem is I have found with the Roland, my thumb gets caught on them when I'm trying to go between them. And so this is amazing. I can already tell this is way better. They're much lighter to press, so the movement is less. So like the key itself doesn't go down nearly as far, which is one of the reasons why my thumb would get caught. So I can already tell that's better, and the position feels better too. One of the other things that I'm excited about is there's this joystick. Now, I believe the YDS has this.
That is a freaking switch. Like, okay, maybe not this, but like this. Okay, that looks like that looks like a Switch joystick, bro. Oh no, Joy-Con. It looks like a Joy-Con, like a Joy-Con joystick, like my Switch Joy-Con joystick. I only have my Switch 2 right here. I don't have my other Switch, but it looks exactly like that, dude. Bro, I was correct. Look at that. Look at that. It's literally a Switch. Bro, it's literally a Switch Joy-Con joystick, dude.
One of the other things that I'm excited about is there's this joystick.
Look at that thing, dude.
I already tell that's better, and the position feels better too. One of the other things.
Look at that. It's a Joy-Con joystick. I was like, yo, bro, that's a freaking Switch. Look at that. Dang, that sucks, Remy. That sucks. I hope you can feel better soon, man. That sucks. Yo, Joy-Con drift on your saxophone is crazy.
Things that I'm excited about is there's this joystick. Now, I believe the YDS has this as well, but the Aerophone only has like a pitch bend wheel, and that's cool. But
yo, wait. If it's a joy, what kind of stuff you gonna be playing? Like, like what kind of stuff you trying to play with the joystick?
It's nice that I'll be able to set this to pitch bend, and then I can set the left and right to whatever else I want. So all of this.
Bro, what about diagonal? You gonna be doing codes with your right hand?
This is like very programmable from what I understand. So as you can see, there is an onboard speaker, and this is the volume knob for that. This is the output to the actual 1/4 inch out, which it does have. It has a 1/4 inch out down here, and it also has these MIDI cables.
Wow, that's old school MIDI, but it says also via USB. Thank God, because that's old school. That's real old school MIDI. That's like what we used to do. Like the EWI 4000 only has these. Wonder if you can still roar.
Whatever these are. I forget what these assign buttons do.
Hey, who here is old enough to remember MIDI Man? MIDI Man, MIDI Sport. Not M Audio. Before M Audio, we're talking MIDI Man. We had to have that MIDI Man 1x1 where, like, if you wanted to interface MIDI to your computer, you had to have the box. There was the box, and you had to put the MIDI inputs into the box, then the USB out to the computer. That was the only way. MIDI Man. That's you want to talk about old school. That's MIDI Man, MIDI Sport. Yeah, when I was playing EWI at MSM, that's the only way I could do. That was the only way I could do it. There wasn't no USB-C, whatever. Like, it was MIDI man, MIDI sport.
I'll have to dig into. Oh, wait. There's no manual. Oh, he sent it to me in a PDF. I have the manual as a PDF. I'll dig
They're trying to save paper.
into the manual and see what these buttons do and kind of get into
Fret tracks
everything that
box.
this can do, because I
Fret
know
tracks bass.
it's quite extensive. So it does have a screen very similar to the Roland, similar size. It looks like maybe a little smaller. And then it looks like you can save favorites. You can go into the setup here, change the sounds, edit sounds directly on the instrument. There is also an app. So I'll be checking out the app over the course of the next couple of weeks and seeing. I know you can change quite a bit of things, so I'm excited to kind of dig in and see what all you can do with this. This is also a knob, so this turns. I'm assuming that's how you'll rotate through the menu, so I'll get into all of that. Down at the bottom here, this is how you open the battery compartment, I guess, I'm assuming.
It looks
does
like
this not come out?
It looks like, yeah, it looks like
the screw
Iwi.
doesn't come out. That's actually so amazing. And then you slide
Yeah, it's
it
like
down.
Iwi. The Iwi screw doesn't come out either.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's a very good design.
Yeah, it's like
okay,
Iwi.
so it looks like it takes two 3.7.
I wonder if he plays it, because that's the 4000 does the same thing. The screw doesn't come out of the bottom of it. Motu, there you go for it. Motu, exactly. With digital perform, I use that. Yep, I use Motu. All Motu stuff. I use a lot of Motu stuff and digital performer. Absolutely. That is very classic. I'll let you back to version 6. Iwi uses 4. The Iwi uses 4. The 4000 uses 4 at least. But yeah, 2 batteries is definitely better. I'm curious how long it lasts. Yeah, 4. Just I had a hint that from last stream by how you was like, okay, I think I know how you. But if you're talking about Motu and if digital performance, like, yeah, you're at least 10 years older than me. At least. Digital performer.
7-volt battery.
At least a solid 10 years older than me.
Maybe. I'll put this back on because I'm just going to use the power supply, I think.
Okay, you can.
Okay, so on the side you have the 1/4 inch out, and actually now that I'm thinking,
Oh, the Aerophone uses 6? God, dog. Dang. That's like a Yamaha keyboard, like one of them like toy keyboards.
about it, the cable has a 90-degree angle on it. Okay, I'm understanding the cable now. So this is a 90-degree angle cable, which is awesome. So it won't get yanked out as easily. And I guess this is a stereo out cable too. So that's really nice because a lot of the synth patches are actually stereo. So that's pretty sweet. It looks like there's the USB-C port, which is how you're able to connect it to a computer because you can use this as a MIDI controller as well.
Love that.
A power indicator and a Bluetooth light. And then up here, it looks like is the headphone out jack. On the other side, there's nothing. It's just plain black, there are no ports or anything. And then it looks like this is the mouthpiece cover. Yes, great. So it does have a mouthpiece that looks similar to a saxophone. It's actually, it looks very similar to the Roland mouthpiece. And if you look, there is a little metal piece in there that it'll react based on your jaw pressure. So I know you're able to program that to do certain things as well. I oftentimes with WinSynths, I will turn off the pitch so that the pitch is always fixed no matter what my jaw pressure is, and then maybe I'll program something like vibrato or something like with the pressure. But if I pop this off, I'm guessing it's very similar to the Roland. Yeah, very similar to the Roland, where it's just that metal bar, and that sits on the inside of this. Okay, on the front of the synth, the first thing I noticed is there's this speaker hole right here, so I'll be interested to see how the onboard speaker sounds. Usually the onboard speakers are not great in these instruments, but truthfully, that's not what they're used for.
All right, I want to hear Buddy play it. First notes, yeah.
Oh, okay. Volume down. Wow, okay. Let me turn the volume up.
That default sound is way better.
Ah. Okay, wow.
Jazz.
This feels awesome. I'm gonna turn the key delay down right now. Feels like there's a little bit of delay. It looks like you can adjust the key delay to be much more sensitive though, so that's kind of nice. Like the Roland was like 1 to 10. This looks like it's 1 to 64 maybe.
Yo.
Yeah. So I'll turn it down some because the default is 35, it looks like. I'll turn it to 15.
Oh, he's playing it in okay. you know he plays an alto player because like he's defaulting. Probably an alto. He probably plays alto, but relative pitch. No, Arson. Here's the thing. Because I have perfect pitch, I can tell you what's going on. Alto players will like default to bebop and F concert. If you look closely, notice the A that he's playing. He's going back and forth between A and G like this. The instrument is not transposed yet. It's in concert pitch. So he's playing F bebop language. But the F bebop language on alto, which is D. And it's just coming out as D. And he probably is not caring about what pitch it is. He's probably not caring about the pitch. Yeah, the instrument isn't transposed yet. So that's why you're hearing D. I probably wouldn't have went. I either would have transposed it or because I can't do that. I can't play it in C. I just can't do it because I have perfect pitch. I have to hear the note. So if I'm playing this and it comes out as an A, I get confused. That's why literally everything is coming out in that's why literally everything is coming out in D major instead of F major right now. Otherwise, believe me, everything would be coming out in F major. Cause like as I'm hearing it, at first I was like, oh yeah, my boy just shredding in D major. I was thinking because I was like, cause like all that stuff he's playing, right? Like I haven't worn forgive me, I haven't played, but like I was like man, that's a choice to just randomly play in D. And I started looking at his fingers, I went, oh. Like now I know what's going on. Yeah.
Wow. Holy. Guys, right away, this is maybe the most comfortable win.
It's so crazy to not be able to hear or care. Like, not be able to hear, but just it's crazy to not, like, to me, like, is not being able to, not, like, not caring about what note comes out is like not caring what color something is. Like, when you chord, just like putting whatever on and not caring. Like, it's just like, it's crazy. It's like, for me.
Synth I've ever played. Okay, and the default joystick setting is to bend the pitch, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm really tripping about this joystick. The joystick, man's playing a Joy-Con.
It's only by a half step, which I think I have the roll-in set to a whole step, so maybe I'll change that. Let me see what left and right does.
Yo, mod wheel, of course. Why wouldn't it be a mod wheel? That makes sense. That makes logical sense. I'm really into that. You heard that? It put a chorus on it. It's a mod wheel.
Triggers different effects. Oh, that's so sick.
Yeah, it's a mod.
Guys, I can't tell you how excited I am
It's
about
a mod.
this. It just feels like the perfect combination of the different wind synths that I've played all in one.
Yes, Dan, yes. Yes. It's like, imagine if all food tasted the same and you just eat and it's all the same until someone tells you, hey, what key we in? Like imagine getting a plate of food and until someone tells you that it's chicken, you're just eating and it's like general meat and you don't care. Like, what meat is this? Chicken? Okay. And then you start eating the chicken and then now you're eating and now all of a sudden the image of chicken appears on your plate and now you can keep it. To me, that's what it seems like. Like, I don't know. That is the best example of how it feels to not understand relative pitch I've ever heard in my life. That is the best example. Imagine if all the food tasted the same, you just eat and it's all the same. That's how I feel like when guitar players, only guitar players by the way, no other instrument argues with me about this. That's how I feel about when guitar players argue with me till their last dying breath that keys don't matter. Like, it doesn't matter what key a song is in. Only guitars. Only guitar players have ever argued with me about that. And it's like, yeah, they're eating they're eating like eating food, you know, like. Arson, I mean, you can split hairs on the analogy, but it's whatever. I like the original one because like you're like it's not about being blindfolded, like, because the thing is, like, the reason why I don't think that works is because the blindfolding would have, like, this would have to imply that if the plate is brought out to you, you already know that there's meat, vegetables, all that kind of stuff on it. But like, if you don't know what the food is, if you don't know anything, right? Like, you won't know until it goes to your mouth. And if you can take the food, blindfold it, put it up to your mouth, and you can tell it's chicken, that's perfect pitch. If you're eating and you can't tell what it is that you're eating until someone tells you, or you relate it to something, or like you have to like try to remember something in your head, like relate it to like another, like maybe you have to eat something else. You have to eat something else that you know what it is in order to tell what that thing is. Like, you need some external information to relate that input to. Because if you can pick up the chicken, eat it, know it's chicken immediately, then that's perfect pitch. But if you're eating and you don't know what it is until someone tells you, that's like relative. Unless you have to like you have to like search within your head to be like, I think it's yeah. Because I don't think that's how we look at it. Like, as people with perfect pitch, that's how we look at it. It's like, do I play? I do not play with Legier. No. How do I pick up the sack and just play? Because you can always play to some degree. I wasn't trying to be perfect. Please don't post the same. This is not a Q&A today. And please don't post the same question twice, especially in a row. Like, trying to, hey, answer. Like, it's that's not gonna get me to answer. I'm a human being, not a robot, not an AI. You know, like, I'm reading you guys' comments. They got the Switch 2 Joy-Cons on eWii's. But yeah, it's really a crazy analogy, though.
I'm so excited about this. Let me play a little more. I want to check out some other sounds, too.
Hey, Ray, I'm colorblind. We didn't talk about this in my lesson, but I'm colorblind. But, like, being colorblind doesn't mean you can't see green. In the same way that having relative pitch doesn't mean you can't hear notes. That's tone deaf, right? Versus seeing in grayscale. Those are the same thing. Tone deaf and grayscale are the same thing. However, relative pitch and colorblindness are the same thing. In the sense that, like, as someone that's colorblind, I can tell with like relative certainty. Like, I can from experience, I can be like, yeah, this is yellow. Right? Like, this is yellow. But I could be second guessed if you put this and a green star next to it. I would be looking at this like, oh, perfect example. These two things, you see this right here? Like this, all right, this star and this splat. Oh, you can't see. This star and this splat bomb. I actually don't know what color this splat bomb is. Specifically because I know that stars are yellow. I have the knowledge that the star is, I see a color and I'm like, it looks some kind of thing. And I know that the Mario stars are yellow. So I can be like, this is probably yellow. I actually cannot, I think the splat bomb is yellow. I think, but I can't tell. I don't know. But it looks yellow. It's like in the yellow area, but it could be like green. I don't know. Is this yellow? The edges are green. Well, that's obvious. Like the top, again, these are obvious, like, these are obvious differences. You can tell the difference. It's like you guys that don't have perfect pitch, it's like if you hear a B and a B flat, or a B and a, like, if you hear a B and a B flat, you probably can't tell the difference between those two. Like, you can tell a difference if they're put together, but you probably can't tell which one is B and which one is B flat, right? You probably can't tell which one is which until you tell someone that's a B and you go, okay, yeah, now I can hear that's a B flat. Immediately you can hear it now. Same thing with this. This is like a F and a B. Like, these are like tritones from each other. That's an obvious difference. You put an F and a B, you can tell they're different. But color blindness is you can't separate. Like a blue and a purple can't do it. Yellow and green can't do it. Brown and reds sometimes can't do it. Some oranges and greens can't do it. Like, I can't tell the difference between the colors. Until you tell me which one is, then I can be like, okay, I get it. That's relative pitch. That's what I'm saying. Apparently, tone deafness is amusia. Some get it from brain damage. Some have it from birth. Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, of course. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's again, like, those of y'all who can see color will understand how us with perfect pitch feel. Because, like, I can't understand and differentiate colors, but I can hear pitches. Low-key, I thought purple was a fancy name for dark blue until I was 13. I love that. That's like Japan not having a word for blue until, like, the 1800s or something. Gil, I was vegan for 11 years. Oh, y'all were talking about something different. Anyway, all right. Would I rather have no color blindness or lose perfect pitch? Well, I've lived the past 33 years of my life with color blindness, so I'm fine. I started off as a visual artist, so, like, it kind of sucks that to have color blindness, but I don't know. Fate pushed me in this direction, so I don't know. I don't think I would get rid of it, though. Wow, that's actually pretty smooth.
Okay, I have right now the bite sensor is on to change the pitch. So I'm going to turn that off. I actually don't like that because
Yeah, I hate that too, actually.
it feels like the advantage of a wind synth is that it plays in tune. So I should just take it.
It's cheating. Oh, whoops. I just realized. You're not looking at the thing?
The bite sensor is on to change the pitch. So I'm going to turn that
He hit the warn.
off. I actually don't like that because it feels like the advantage of a wind synth is that it plays in tune. So I should just take advantage of that, you know, and then
It's so cheating. It really is so cheating, though, to be able to do that. Like, it is the advantage of playing Winston. He's not wrong. He's not wrong at all.
I'll control the pitch with all the other options that I have with this thing. The menu is very easy to use too. It's very intuitive. Bite 0. Bite depth.
Yo, Bite 0 sounds like some new, like, 0-calorie energy drink or something. The Bite of 87. Bite 0. Peace out, Nate.
Bite function. Okay, I just turned the bite function to off. Let me see if that's it. Great.
Where you hitting that Warren Marsh. Last warning is crazy. Yo, Warren is with the E, dude. See? If that's as much proof as you needed to know that he's playing in alto. Bro, confirmation in D. Have any of you ever tried doing that? Confirmation in D? What? That's weird. I swear his screen said +3 E flat when he was changing the byte font. Yeah, but I don't think. Maybe that was a choice. I don't know. But perfect pitch is overrated for Jazz. People love to like attribute certain things. If that makes you feel better, if those types of statements make people feel better about themselves, then fine. But overrated is crazy. Confirmation transposing is insane, actually. Like I don't think like an ability to hear, like an inherent hearing ability is like, it's kind of like messing with my mind to try to ascribe an innate like genetic hearing thing to a genre of music. I don't know. It's strange. Yo, Kwame with the $50 donation. My friend, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Hey, man, you gotta come in here to Hawaii Blue Note. Maria and I are a huge fan of yours. Please reach out if you can. Yo, I mean, I'm down. If you give me a gig, I'll come out. I would love to go to Hawaii. It'd be amazing. A lot of Graves and Dishes didn't have it. Yeah, but does that mean that it's overrated? Like it feels like a statement that's coming from a place of like it feels like it's like coming from a place of like distaste, or like you feel slighted by people talking about having it. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Like the comment you just said, it makes it sound like someone hurt you or something. Like like there's someone like you know, I was basically not bullied, but like, you know, I was almost bullied basically in school for like being, you know, for like having perfect pitch and being, you know, excelling faster than my peers. So like, you know, I'm not really about hiding my perfect pitch anymore. Yeah, it just feels like it feels like insecurity, like I'm not allowed to have it, like you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we know it's not. We should know it's not essential. Like the only people that think it's essential are probably like 14-year-olds or something. Like it's obviously not essential. Like we know that. I'm one of the biggest proponents of telling people that you should not care about perfect pitch if you don't have it. Like you shouldn't care, because like to say that you can't do this because you don't have it is like an excuse. Like you should be working hard anyway. Like you need to work hard. Thank you, Evan. I love that. You finally brought up the good point. I wish you could put that comment up there on the screen, which is you don't need it to swing. Yeah. The problem with all y'all thinking that perfect pitch is necessary for jazz, or like thinking that it's even something that should be talked about at all, is because y'all are thinking about harmony. Only harmony. Stop thinking about harmony. Start thinking about rhythm. You guys can't swing. That's why the conversation is about perfect pitch so much, but no one's thinking about perfect time. Nobody has that. Where's that gene? Perfect rhythm. Where's that? Ain't nobody talking about that. See, he can't understand. Like, it's crazy to me that Frankie can't hear how crazy it is that he's playing it in D. It's so crazy. It's like, it's blowing my mind right now. Whoops. That's not a whoops. That's almost like
wow.
That's crazy. I'm gonna start shedding that. It sounds really cool in D, actually. It sounds so cool. Vegeta telling you that you don't need UI? I mean, he had UE if you read the manga, but I'm not going to spoil things for people. He didn't have UI. The patch sounds really good, doesn't it? Yeah. For me, the only reason why I want perfect pitch is so I can transcribe dense arrangements easier with less frustration. Yeah. That's the only, yeah.
Feels amazing. This feels truly great. Like, they're very.
Yeah, I mean it's good. I mean I think we watched enough of this. I want to move on to some other stuff, but this is a really cool instrument. Like, I'm really into it. I wonder, is it available to buy right now? Like, hold on. Why is there such a big, like, do you have like, has to be something must have happened to you when, like, is there some type of trauma that you have with Perfect Pitch? Like, I mean, I'd love to help if I can, but like, I don't know if I can, it's just like, I have the opposite side of it. I have like trauma of like, you know what I'm saying? Like I shouldn't be good. Don't be good. Don't like, like, I feel they're both different ways of viewing music that let people come at it from different angles so you get better music. I mean, yeah, like, but the point is that like, it's interesting to like, that it's such a topic. I don't think it needs to be okay, yeah, it definitely sounds like something happened. I'm not gonna poke that bear anymore. It sounds like something happened in the past that is hard for you to let go of right now. But anyway, my boy Naki Easy set up a gig for you. We can take care of where you can crash. Wow. I mean, I'd appreciate that. Well, you know what? If you're serious about this, send me a DM on Instagram or find me on Discord. But I don't check DM requests on Discord that often. So send me a message on Instagram or my email, my public email that's on my Instagram to my manager. I would love to work something out. You can buy it. You can buy an actual Deosynth. You should hit them up and get a Deosynth because hit them up. Okay. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll hit them up. Maybe I will. All right. It must be annoying having people saying Perfect Pitch is cheating. Yep. Yep. I read stories of other older musicians losing their perfect pitch and thought it was so sad. Yeah, that happens. I mean, you apparently lose it as you get older. But I wonder if it's like muscles. Like you lose your muscles as you get older. Like naturally you lose some amount of muscle mass, but you don't have to lose all of it if you continue working out. So I wonder if there's a way if you can just keep training it and don't let it be lazy, if you can also like continue. So. But I'm really tired. I'm tired of talking about Perfect Pitch right now. There was something else I saw up here that I thought was interesting. Yeah. Should I go into the swing or to the AI? Let's check this out. I'm very curious about it. How to play swing rhythms. Let's see if this person knows what they're talking about. Us being in the 50s, started hearing E's and E flats. Sucks. Oh, blood, that's crazy. Plays ball. Oh, Lord. We're not, Dan. Some things are left to the past, all right? That was September. You said the video is pretty good in your opinion? I'll be the judge of that. How to play swing rhythms.
Rhythms and Rhythmic Notation, Part 4, Swing. At the start of this series, we looked at how rhythm is almost like a board game, where the basic rules act as a foundation, but you can add expansions that add different abilities and new possibilities. The next expansion builds on a lot of the ideas we've already looked at. It's called Swing, when eighth notes go rogue. Swing is an important rhythmic and stylistic concept that originated as jazz began to develop in the late 19th and early 20th centuries.
Man, it's something.
When eighth notes go rogue. Swing is an important rhythmic and stylistic concept that
Swing is a like I understand. Okay, I try to understand where you're coming from with this, but I already don't like the way it's being described. And thank you, thank you, GX. Like, we need to understand. I wonder how he's gonna actually break this down. It's a 7-minute video, 7-minute video, 7.5 minutes. This is incorrect. It's not a rhythmic and stylistic concept. First of all, you can think of it more as an accent. It's the way that people play ordinary music. You can swing anything technically, but you have to, just like with any accent, you have to change the way you might have to change the spelling of a word, or you might have to change you might have to change like the position of the word in the sentence, or like the place that the emphasis you put on it. And it's the same thing with music, right? Like if you want to swing something, usually you won't play the exact note. Like if you want to swing like the Star Spangled Banner, or if you want to swing Stars and Stripes of Forever, you might not go ba 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 ba. You won't do that, right? You might change you might change a few of the notes, like you might do that or something. Like you know what I'm saying? Like that's part of the accent, right? It's not like a concept. It's like an accent. And so to say it's really interesting. Like people were not calling the way that Louis Armstrong and I mean let's look at all these guys in the video.
Originated as jazz began to develop in the late 19th and early 20th centuries.
None of these guys, except for Louis Armstrong, even then, that was like a later thing that he later called what he was doing later. I don't really know I gotta go back and see if there's any record of Louis Armstrong talking about like what he's doing as swing, because none of these guys are swing musicians. None of them. None of these guys. And I know we're talking about like Scott Joplin, okay, like maybe like the beginning of like syncopation. Like I understand that. I understand using that as a concept, like, oh, like, you know, it started from like having the syncopated rhythms, which is a way of changing what we talked about, way of changing rhythms to fit a certain way of playing. But W.C. Handy, no. Buddy Bolden, no. Not even Jello Morton, no. The Bolden, it's, you know, like.
There's also a specific subgenre of jazz called swing music.
This is the only thing that we should be talking about. Personally, in my opinion, is this.
Usually associated with the big bands of the 1930s. But the rolling, tumbling, and lilting qualities of swing have shown up in many different genres. Performing in swing style includes a number of implied stylistic adjustments that can really bring a lot of life to the music.
I mean, okay. I mean, I understand the. For me, I guess I'm just like, why do we have to, when we're teaching things? I have one question. This is, I hope people don't think that I'm just trying to flame this guy. This is not about Brad Harrison or anybody else. This is about the general state of education. I'm just very curious. When we teach things, why do we? This is a question I want to pose to educators, and because I actually want to know this, if this is something that we can actually discuss. Why do we use, like, instead of like using the actual history, what's hip, simple stuff that's hip, why don't we use that stuff from the masters instead of like writing our own random thing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just curious, like, you know, we could, if you want to give them, you know, example, like you could have used something as easy as C Jam Blues. As simple as that. Who doesn't know that? You could use Satin Doll. First 4 bars of Satin Doll or something. Like, you know, there's like you can educate people with the tradition. But a part of me thinks that it's because like people think we should be moving away from the tradition or something, which would be ironic. I don't know. Like it's just weird. Like people are making life a lot harder for themselves than it has to be, and I just don't really understand why. Like in a mellow yeah, it's just so many different examples. You know, yo, thank you, Andrew, for that. I appreciate it. For the 20 bucks. Rhythm, that's what draws my attention to you. Maybe places that you set up rhythm, drum. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that, man. Let's go right to secret swing. But like, here's the difference is when I listen to Louis Armstrong and Jelly Roll, I'm not thinking about swing. Whatever that is, I'm not thinking about swinging. It's like it's different. It's like a different rhythm. When I learned to separate the idea of what swing is from what was going on in New Orleans and Chicago, right? All in Dixieland. Not actual, there's no like land, but like, you know, like what people would call Dixieland. When I realized that early jazz was different, that's when I started playing that music better. When I started, thank you, playing hot. It's called playing hot music, jazz. Like when I realized that it's its own thing. It's its own thing. It's not doodle-la swing. It's not that. Because you start speeding it up, it's not going to sound the same. And it's not bebop. It's not bebop swing. It's not swing music swing. Just 10 years later in a different region. It's a different accent. It's a completely different way of playing. You cannot compare it. You can't compare it. One second, guys. Okay. The Dixieland isn't a place. Dixieland is a it's like a endearing way of saying Dixie, old Dixie, which is what they used to call the South. Which is why, like, you know, like it's not a specific place. It's just the nostalgic yearning for old Dixie. And there are reasons why people like Winton don't like using that word, because it has a lot of like racist undertones implied in it. But there's still people calling it that, you know.
But the most fundamental difference has to do with rhythm. Most of the time, when dividing the beat from quarter notes into eighth notes, each one is equal in length and takes up half the beat.
Like, I'm not trying to be hyper judgmental, but it's just already in the way that like he's talking. It's just very like, you know, it's not conducive to how swing is played. You know? But
these are known as straight eighths. But swing works by dividing the beat into two.
Here we go. Are you guys ready?
Unequal parts. Nothing changes in the way the music is notated, besides adding the word swing, but that word indicates a number of changes to how the piece is performed. The biggest is making the eighth notes on the beat long, and the eighths off the beat short. And while the specific division varies among musicians and genres, broadly speaking, it's about a 2/3 to 1/3 division of downbeats to upbeats.
And he just moves on. It just moves on like that.
Swing essentially turns the eighth notes into a repeated long-short triplet rhythm.
How long are we gonna keep doing this? He had you hopeful? I was resisting. Hey, Gil. I love doing this for people. This song is called Molten Swing. It's called Swing. It's called Molten Swing, right? Count triplets in this joint. In this one song alone, get this. In this one song alone, guys, I want everybody to understand something. In this one song alone, you're gonna hear like 3 or 4 different swing feels. Get ready for that. You're not gonna hear it's triplet. You're gonna hear like 3 or 4 different swing feels. And not from one person, from entire sections. From the entire big band. From the entire big band, you're gonna hear different ways of swinging in all different parts of the song. That ain't no triplet. There ain't no triplet in there at all. What a triplet's at? It ain't straight. It's like you have to hear it. It's different. So the reason why so many bands can't play swing is because they think everything is one size fits all. Because they're not using their ears. They're trying to use their brains too much. You're using your brain too much. Use your body. Use your ear. The space between the notes is different all the time. You just got to do the hard. There's no shortcut. There's no shortcut to this music. You can't be like, swing is this and that's it. No, those are called training wheels because we don't have swing in our daily music anymore. It's not our language. So you got to have something that allows you to like get into it fast enough. Right? You got to have something that like can get you in your foot in the door. So you hear the triplet thing and you go, okay, yeah, it's different than got. It's got. That's like where it starts. But then you got to take the training wheels off and realize, and it's not your fault. Especially if you're young, like 14 to 17, it's like not your fault and your responsibility. It's your responsibility to practice what the teacher tells you. It's not necessarily your responsibility to figure that out on your own. Your teacher should be the ones that's telling you that stuff. But most teachers are not having y'all dance, pat your foot, snap on 2 and 4. I see Bandit. Listen. I be going to many different like camps, schools, sometimes colleges. And Bandit is counting off like this. 1, 2, 3, like it's a march. And then conducting. That ain't jazz. Count the joint off. 1, 2, 2, 3, and then walk off the stage. Like Mr. Dorsey did. Like, when I was growing like that's how you do that. Or like cue the parts if you want to cue out or whatever. Yes, at colleges. I'm not gonna name no names, but I've been to high schools and colleges where Bandit is counting off like this. Or on all 4 beats. Because it's like concert band mentality. And if you're one of those people watching, this is an honest wake up call for you. Like, just saying. It's an honest wake up call. Swing is not one thing. Y'all got to realize that. the sooner you realize that, the sooner you will actually be able to start swinging. You will not be able to start swinging until you realize that it's not triplet. It's not the triplet. Some songs are the triplet, but you know what I'm saying? So anyway.
And sometimes you see this notation on sheet music to indicate swing specifically being a triplet pattern.
Like, it's like, who you gonna trust talking about this music? Like, it shouldn't get into a demographic thing, but you know, you should talk like you swinging too. You know, like, like, I don't know, like, you know, you should be able to understand that, you know, like.
And if you wanted to, you could certainly just write swing music in triplets, or even in 12/8.
This is probably a middle school beginner YouTube vid. I don't like that, because I had my middle school band director, Melton Mustafa Jr., was hip. He didn't teach us this. That's not so. Of course that is swing, Jolly. Spiritual by John Coltrane is absolutely swing. What do you mean? It's absolutely swing. Absolutely swing. Boom, cut to get boom, 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 boom. It's like, oh, it's like in there. Only in the left hand though, the right pattern's on a different dimension. I don't know what y'all talking about. What are you talking about? Like, the right hand's in a different dimension. The right hand is as swing as you can get. Like, it's straight up swing. Ting, king, 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 ting, king, king, king. You can't get more sweat. Y'all are getting too. It is not a bembe pattern. This is not bembe. This is not bembe. This is a 3/4 straight up just jazz waltz with some triplets in it. Or a slow 6/8. Ding, check, get, boom, check, get, boom, boom, check, get. But he's not playing a pattern. There's no pattern being played here. This is before Jimmy. This is Reggie Workman. This is the Vanguard, so it's Reggie Workman. It's not Jimmy. Yeah, it's not Bembe. Like, it's not Bembe. I know Afro-Cuban music and some African music, so like I'll be able to hit you with it. And Reggie's still with us too. But anyway, let's keep learning how to play a swing rhythm.
But this concept of writing swing rhythms in standard eighth note notation endures for a few reasons.
You thought Svet was talking about? He's talking about spiritual. Arson. Because like his comment says spiritual by John Coltrane is triplet. And then only in the left hand, the right hand is a different dimension. I still don't understand that though. I don't know. This is getting all over. Y'all are confusing me. I'm just gonna keep watching. Yeah, this is confused. I don't know what you guys are talking about anymore.
But the biggest one is probably because 12/8 written out swing is much harder to read because none of the notes are grouped together with any beaming. They're all just floating in the middle.
So this is all. I mean, this is just a general problem I have, I guess, with jazz education, YouTube in general, is that this is all notation stuff, right? Like it makes sense. I don't disagree with this part
of the bar. while standard swing notation with eighth notes is much easier to read and know what beat any given note by the jazzers.
Wait.
Great shorthand, and if you write it the other way, you probably won't be accepted by the jazzers.
Like, what? Can we not use words like that? It's just like, you know, let's teach kids how to be hip. Let's just teach kids. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm not trying to. People think, well, Patrick, you're so mean. I was like, why don't you, like, oh, this guy is so ego, and I was just like, no, I want people to. I'm in the business of teaching people how to be hip. Like, we have an epidemic of we have a hip-wise anemic society right now in the world. There are very people that are they have hip anemia. Yeah, it's a very hipless epidemic, and I just want people to be hip. And being hip means, like, yeah, understanding the way people talk, understanding the culture, understanding the accent. Yes, you got to be like them. Yes, you have to learn that, because you have to. Monkey see, monkey do. Copy the cats. You won't learn by doing this on your own. This is a community music, so I just want people to, like. It doesn't mean, like, you know, you're not too advanced to learn how to be hip, guys. You're never too advanced to listen to a record and get straight from the source. But accepted by the jazzers is not something that we say. Like, it's like, we just don't say that.
Now, you want to be careful of just thinking of swing as long-short, because some people fall into a weird trap where they do play just that, but they're not actually playing swing. First off, you could play this. And that's definitely long-short, because the tenuto accents on the downbeat
Is this from a... Who is he talking to?
are long, and the staccato accents on the upbeats are short. But the onset of every beat is evenly spaced, every half a beat, so it's not swing. It's just straight eighth notes with long, short accents. In swing, the upbeat eighth notes come later in the beat. That's the thing that makes swing feel like swing.
That's not what makes swing feel like swing, but I mean, people always get on me about what people's biggest complaint to me is that, bro, you didn't watch the whole video. You didn't watch the video. So guess what, guys? We're going to watch the whole video, and I'm going to sit through this and reach my exact same conclusion and still get criticized for it.
Beats are actually closer to the beat that comes after it rather than before it. So swing isn't just long short, it's long late. Now, once you've got...
Like, you're not going to get a DMCA copyright strike if you play actual swing material that's been canonized and written. You're not going to get a DMCA, so, like, just play some swing. Like, go play some Molten Swing or something. Play some Count Basie or something.
The basic rhythmic concept under control. You need to remember that the word swing in music is quite powerful, because it doesn't just affect rhythm. There are a number of stylistic changes too.
Okay.
We'll get into some of the details on this in a moment, but as with so many things in music, it's really important to listen to great musicians and try to emulate and learn from their style. And you should also speak to your teacher.
You should have demonstrated that. Are you going to demonstrate that?
Sure about that.
Oh boy, guys, at the end of the video there is a Tom Play ad.
Hopefully someone with experience in jazz and blues and swing music. And speaking of which, I teach lessons online.
I'm live and I'm on public. I gotta say nice things. So
I've had the pleasure of working with students all over
I'm gonna get canceled if I don't. If I say how I honestly feel right now.
the world about all kinds of musical topics, including jazz and improvisation, practice habits, and composition. I play trumpet, but most of my students actually don't, and they're just looking for a wide-angle lens on how to get better at music in one way or another. Please visit my website for more information on pricing and how to set up a meeting.
Guys, y'all can't see this because my y'all can't see this because look. Okay, look. Star Trek, Star Wars commentary. I mean, I guess it's like it's funny. I guess it's fun. It's interest. I just think it's He's trying to be fun. That's cool.
Now, stylistically, I find there are a couple of common traps that musicians can fall into. One is they over-articulate everything. If every note is short, it can make the music sound really stilted and what we sometimes call rickety-tickety. Or you might try to slur everything all together. But if everything is too smooth and connected, it can actually make the music sound kind of sloppy and uninteresting. Now, the specific execution of this will depend on what instrument you play. But a good general guideline.
Y'all want me
is
to watch the whole
emphasize
thing? Y'all want me to watch the whole
upbeat
thing?
and slur to the downbeat. Also, in swing music, the quarter notes tend to be short and kind of punchy, with a bit of space between them. Longer notes get full value, but notes that start on the upbeat also often have an implied accent as well.
This is stylistically dependent. This is a common trap that not even inexperienced players, we're talking about like advanced and sometimes pro players make when it comes to playing jazz and reading it, is one of my biggest pet peeves is that people assume quarter notes are short. This is one thing I'll talk about real quick that will actually be less of a wait, what? This will actually be something that is more of a honest critique. This is like not really like a critique of him. This is a critique of the entire jazz education space. One thing we don't understand about the whole quarter notes or short thing in jazz is that it's based off a specific way of playing swing music. It's a specific type of big band music. Not all quarter notes are short in swing music. That's just not true, right? And it's not even often that way. It's only that way in certain types of like Count Basie and Thad Jones derived charts. That's really it. Anything that comes from that style, usually in ensembles, when it's swinging at a certain tempo, will the quarter notes be short. So this to me, like outside, I mean, I know I was saying some other stuff like, oh, this guy's on the hip and or whatever, but from just a general education standpoint, as a critique, this is disingenuous advice that I don't like giving to people. That's all. So this is not like a, oh, this guy's on hip or whatever, me being mean. Like, no, it's just like generally, I don't think we should be teaching people this. I don't think we should be teaching people this. It's something that's been as pervasive even since my time and before my time, where people think that. And it's, yeah. I think it's just weird.
Depending on the context, you might not see a lot of articulation markings on your music, and you'll be free to interpret it however you like. But in a larger ensemble like a jazz big band, the composer will probably be a lot more detailed in their expression markings.
Again, this is assuming that you're reading the music. It's who is this for? I want to know what I would love to have sit down and have an honest conversation because I want to know who this video is for. Like, I don't really understand. There's so much. But everyone keeps saying ninth grade or like middle school begin. This is not how we should be teaching beginners. This is not, give them the stuff. You can give them C Jam Blues, give them Count Basie, give them like Sammy Nestico charts, like 88 Basie Street or like easy whatever. Give them some easy swing stuff. We don't have to give them weird examples that, you know, like it's really like bothering. I don't want to do middle school education, guys. That's not my passion. I don't want to do beginning education, but it's like, am I gonna have to do all of the education? Like on YouTube? Like, is somebody? Am I the only one really that has to fit this space? Like, is no one really taking this that seriously? If we're gonna teach jazz to people, teach swing to people, specifically swing, like, it can't be like this.
so that everyone knows what the expectations are and
Exactly. Thank you. It overcomplicates it. So yeah, there's no way this would be. It's like, nah, this is not how I learned, and this is not. Yeah.
they all sound good and consistent playing together. You don't tend to see a lot of 16th notes in swing music, but it does happen from time to time. And usually you just play them like normal 16ths and ignore the underlying swing.
The reason why I don't like this is because it's not 100% wrong. Like he's saying stuff that's correct, but it's not hip. Some things he's saying are correct, like this. This is correct, right?
Pattern.
The thing he said earlier back here, I don't know, like, you know, watch your articulation. Like, yeah, yes, sure. Sometimes this happens, sure. Swing also indicates the number of stylists that change the music, but I don't know what those there are no stylistic examples of that yet. Right? And this is like the last section of the video.
16ths, and they'll be specifically marked as such if that's what the composer wants. Swung 16ths usually show up in really slow music when the composer wants a moment of rhythmic density. And really, although
it's because the kids have a band concert in 8 weeks, and this is the only way to get them to sound sort of together. Sounds like somebody hasn't met Milton Mustafa or Christopher Dorsey or any other great band directors from back in the day. Like, not even back in the day, but like, you know, who I guess who not retired now. Like, what's his name? Clarence Acox. What's his name from Roosevelt School of the Arts in Seattle? I forgot his name. Or like Julius Tolentino from up here in New Jersey. There are band directors that know how to get a band to sound good in 8 weeks, right? You know what I'm saying? If I learn anything, teaching your students is that you have to speak on their level. But yes, amen, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, this is the type of video that would work. The style would work well for beginner adults. But again, just be hip.
the basics of swing are pretty simple, there's a lot of subtlety to the execution. But you want to
The basics of swing are simple.
be careful of getting too caught up in the details, or you might suffer from paralysis by analysis. When really the best way to learn this stuff is just to listen to the kind of music you want to play, practice a whole bunch, and try to emulate the musicians that you admire. And if you're looking for repertoire and play-alongs to work on swing music, consider Tomplay, which has a huge catalog of
Lord, man. See, y'all tell me, people tell me to watch the video to the end, and what changed? What changed? What changed? What you told me not to look anymore. What changed? Nothing changed. What did I get more, you know? Yeah, Carter Mack. Yeah. So what Carter Mack said is, I think the problem is that at many schools like mine, jazz is just an extra thing they try to fit in. Doesn't get as much effort as any classical band. Yeah, of course. There's a lot of reasons for that. And I'm gonna give some real talk on this clip of the week real quick. So, one thing that people don't like to talk about, because yes, it is true that a lot of different people, that many people have contributed to this music from all sorts of cultures, all sorts of races, all sorts of, places, right? The deculturification, I'm going to make that word up, right? The removal of culture. The removal of culture from the music in an effort to make it replicable and easily repeatable in academia is the main thing that has basically sent jazz to like its grave. Like it's one of the worst things that's happened. One of the things that removing the essence of like the culture itself. right? One of the things that like remove that is the culture stuff, namely the street, the blackness, right? Like taking that element out of jazz. What it has done is it allows people to like, you know, you can, because I can guarantee you, 100%. Most of the schools that have these like extra jazz programs that are kind of like, they don't really think about them, where they're kind of just there. They wouldn't even have them there if jazz was like still explicitly like, you know, primarily like a black music. It wouldn't be there. If people thought that jazz, like in order to play jazz, you gotta have that black element in there, right? Like there has to be at least the understanding of the history to play music. If that was actually like a requirement that people thought of, the schools wouldn't even have a program. You probably wouldn't even have a program, Carter. It probably wouldn't even be there. Of course, classical music is going to get funded in America. Of course. Of course, there's going to be classical and wind ensemble programs. And America has a very rich, long-standing marching tradition. Of course. You know, of course that's going to be there. That's American culture. But apparently jazz isn't. Think about that for a second. It's culturally important to have marching band and football, but it is not culturally important to teach arguably the greatest cultural establishment that like America's had in its barely 300-year-old history. It's crazy. It's been canonized into our history, yet football and marching band and concert band, that's way more important. I love what you said there. I mean, it's economically important to have football. Jazz gave us the drum set. That it did. Absolutely did. Give us a lot of things, too. It's disappointing. But I understand. Because jazz is both a cultural landmark of this country, and it's also a popular music fad that came and went. Both of those things are true. So you can't expect schools to invest. I don't want schools to invest all their time and energy into jazz. I don't think every school should be a jazz school. I think in all honesty, I don't think jazz is that important. Like, I'm just going to be honest and be real. Like, if I'm going to be on their side for a second, jazz is not really that important. If you think about it in the grand scheme of the world and history, yeah, it's not really that important. But neither is football. Neither is marching band. None of these things are important. We're choosing what we think is important. We're choosing that. So we have made a very conscious decision to make sure that all the stuff, the cultural relevance that jazz has had in history, regardless of the fact that people still want to play it, regardless of the fact that it's changed lives, it gives kids something positive to express themselves through and to learn teamwork just like sports would, but gives them a creative outlet to do something that's nonviolent, right? That's extremely important. But yet we don't think that's as important as marching band and football. But the thing is, people don't understand that. They don't get that part. So because they don't get that part, they're not going to put as much funding and time into the programs. It's way more than economics. But again, the reason why I talk about the cultural importance of it is because the fact that we have taken the culture out of the music, it's not like we've deliberately taken it out. It's not like we said, I don't like blackness, so I'm gonna take it out and start a program. No, it's like a what's the word? Not like by osmosis, by proxy, but like kind of, it's like a side effect of a thing that happened, right? I can only identify, if I'm not black, I can only identify with the theoretical components of the music. If I didn't grow up in the South, I can't identify with like barbecue ribs. Yeah, it's a byproduct. Thank you. That's the word. Like, if I'm not from a certain part of the country or whatever, I can't identify with this. But everybody can identify with math. Everyone. Everyone can just plug and play this, and that. But to learn this music, if we're calling jazz a language and we're calling music a universal language, just like any other language, you got to go to the source. You got to go in there and go to the place where it's spoken the most to understand how to actually communicate it effectively. That's the only way you're going to do it. And you can do that in a bunch of different ways, you know, like being around people who like to play it, right? Who actually can do it well. Going into the environment where it was born. You can go anywhere. But as soon as you decide, because I can't identify with this, I'm only going to do this, the other thing dies. Only the people that care about it will continue that part of it. That's the thing that's what I'm talking about. That's the thing that happens. So what's happening in jazz right now, especially jazz education in general, is that there's a lot of these programs around the country, around the world, but I'm not really blaming Europe and Asia and all those different places. I'm not really blaming those places because there's really they're doing the best they can. They have their own regional variants and stuff. But in America, it's kind of a conscious decision to be in a country where you can very easily access the history in your own home language right there. Pretty like immediately. There's people in Europe and like parts of Europe and Asia that are doing this better than we are over here. And they love all the different myriad. They love the white parts, the black parts, the Jewish parts, Italian parts of jazz, all the parts of jazz. They just like it because it's jazz. There's stuff here going on here. People don't want to accept that cultural part of it. It doesn't make them feel comfortable. They feel like they either it's coming from like an altruistic side where they feel like they don't have the right to get into it, or it comes from a not so altruistic side, the opposite of it, you know, where they just don't want to do it. They don't think it's important. And it's sad because so much can be fixed very easily just by deciding that, oh, if I want to learn sushi, I should probably learn from some Japanese folks. If I want to make the best sushi and get it authentic. If I want to learn some Italian food, I should probably spend time in Italy or spend time with some Italians around me at least. If I want to make some Mexican food, there's some Mexicans over here. Let me go hang out with them and talk to them. But we don't do that with jazz because we say, oh, come on, like jazz is not just black music. It's like, this is the only time we say that. We only say that here. We don't, yeah, of course, a whole bunch of people came together to make this. A whole bunch of people came together to make this music. But what is the language that we're speaking? What did Benny Goodman want to do? What did Bix Beiderbecke want to do? John Hammond, the guy who put together all these musicians, what did all of them know? What did all of them realize back in the 20s and 30s? Oh man, if I want to play this music, I gotta the black folks, like these on the other side of the tracks, they're playing this stuff. So they went over there to learn it from them. Because they were like, yeah, these guys over here are doing it, but these guys over here, they're really doing it. And they took Bix Beiderbecke used to hide from his parents in the shed. He'd have a record player copying Louis Armstrong sounds. In the 1910s. Benny Goodman, his contribution to jazz, his biggest contribution to the history of jazz was having the first integrated band in Carnegie Hall. It was 1938 or 39. Forgot what year it was. But he was the first. Not only was he the first jazz in Carnegie Hall, he said, okay, Benny Goodman, he could have put all white band. No, he decided to have Lionel Hampton and Teddy Wilson. Two black musicians who went on, of course, to become some of the most legendary and most respected musicians of all time in our music. They knew what was going on. They knew that they had something to say, but they wanted to find out what's the authentic way to say it. It's not that people don't have nothing to say. It's just that there is a language that why do we have to explain this? We shouldn't have to explain this. It's there. It's real. It's a part of what we do. We could say that for all of the different types of music, other types of music, right? like Appalachian folk music or whatever, or Brazilian music. You go to Brazil, Indian music, but for jazz, for some reason, because y'all don't want to. If I start saying racism and stuff, it's like that's too much. Because I know that on an individual level, it's not racism. So we have to understand that. People be really quick to call that out and be like, but I'm not racist. And this is what very sad. All my people say, because it's not on an individual level. The racism is not an individual thing. You got to go back. You got to go back. This didn't start today. It didn't start today. So when it comes to teaching music, when it comes to teaching jazz, swing, all this type of stuff, we got to stop trying to water stuff down and thinking that, like, you know, people aren't ready for whatever. The reality is that a lot of these, most of these teachers, most of y'all, if you're watching this and you know who you are, most of these people they're not hip enough to even be teaching this stuff. They shouldn't even be teaching it. And if they are teaching it, then they should learn that there is no right time to teach people about the all the relevant cultural elements of this music. There's no right. It's not like it's not important. You don't have to be explicit. You don't have to go to a 12-year-old or 11 or 12-year-old and explain to them the complex history of being black in America in the 1800s and the 1900s and the slave trade. Okay, all you got to do is put on a Count Basie record. That's what you. Is that hard? That's what you do. How do we teach these elements? How do we teach this? Like, just put on some black music. It's that easy. You don't have to do anything else. It's literally that easy. You don't even have to go. It's not about, you don't got to get deep like my man was going on that other video. You don't have to do that. All you have to do is put on a record, bro, and start dancing with them. But y'all don't want to do that. Y'all don't come from that. You come from, like, you know, Badgertown or something. A long line of classical conductors or whatever. It's like, and like, you know, and some of y'all don't even want that culture. Like some people don't even want to it's like some people don't even want to appreciate their own European heritage. Like, culture is important. Teach culture. All of it. I'm down with all of it. I'm literally down with all of it as long as it's honest. Just teach the culture. It's that easy. It's that easy, man. You put on a record and then show how much you love it. First you got to love it, then show how much you love it. The kids will love it because it's fun. The proof is in all the kids that are around the world that can do it and that do like it at that age. It ain't the kids, it's you. It ain't the kids. It's not. It's you. Anyway. Sorry about that. This joint just gets me going all the freaking time. I can't stand it. All right, let's keep reacting. Oh no. Q. You know Miles. I'm not watching no You Know Miles on this channel right now. Sea Lion Rap. You Know Miles. Are we watching this? It's only 2 minutes. Maybe, let's clear the air. Gaming General. What's up, Bree? Okay. I apologize to anybody in advance. We're probably going to drop 60 viewers from this. I have no idea what I'm looking at. I have no idea what I'm looking at right now. Let's go.
Everybody hit it with me, hit the sea lion. Everybody do it with me, hit the sea lion.
Hold on. Hit that back. Run that one back. Run that one back.
We about to walk around talking about.
Bro, how many views does this have? Only 307. This deserves more views. Is this a good line for Half Nelson? It's crazy.
Everybody hit the four-legged sea lion. My grandma, she a sea lion and she fat as hell.
Bro. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Okay. Wait, you say Eric Dolphy would be gas on this? Challenge accepted.
Push my grandma down the stairs, she sound like this. My cousin don't speak English, he speaks sea lion. Will speak English, he speaks sea lion. I'm trying to get that green like a sea lion. I'm trying to get that cash like a sea lion. I'm trying to get the water like a sea lion. She got mad and hit the sea lion. Everybody hit it with me, hit the sea lion. Everybody do it with me, hit the sea lion. Everybody hit it with me, hit the sea lion. Everybody do it with me, hit the sea lion. We about to walk around talking about hit the sea lion. Everybody hit the four-legged sea lion. My cousin, he a sea lion, he sound like this. My uncle, he a sea lion, he lion, he sound like this. My uncle, he a sea lion, he sound like this.
Y'all don't know that? Y'all don't know that recording I'm talking about? Bro, that's the hardest eighth notes, bro. Bro, I never forget the first time I heard that. I'm like, hey, yo. Go check that out. This is like one of my favorite This is probably like this might be my favorite live Dolphy record. Probably. Like as a leader. Probably like my favorite live Dolphy record. I burned this joint to the ground. I love it. Yeah, the I Remember April is stupid. It's so good. Everything on this album is amazing. Somebody said Dolphy will go hard on you and Miles. I was like, okay, I got you. All right, bet. Ain't no triplet in that, bro. Ooh. The Eric Dolphy to You Know Miles pipeline. It's real. It's real. Practice video? I haven't checked that out. Oh, this is an important thing to talk about. Let's look at this. It's better than You Know Miles. Here's a Venus Theory video. It says, so AI makes better music than you. Now what? This is actually really an important topic because when it comes to the AI discussion, one of the things that people talk about so much is, well, like one of the biggest quotes, that video you're talking about. You mean the rehearsal video, RC? Yeah, I know that one. Okay. I was like, practice video, just okay. But one of the most important things that one of the things that people talk about is like when people say, okay, like AI music, what's going on with it? People often used to say, well, just adapt, just get better, just adapt. Right? Like the future's here. It's like if the AI is making better music than you, then maybe your music's not that good. And the reason why I don't like that perspective, I understand the perspective, but why I don't like it is because it implies that the value of music is purely monetary. When the point of the monetary value of music is that it supports us in the system where we need money in order to continue making music. It's not like that's a different type of thing. It's a different situation. So I'm very curious to see what this person's talking about. So let's see if there's anything interesting that we can parse from this video. That's a nice disclaimer.
As a creator,
wow, a well-made B-roll edited video in the music space. This is a rare treat.
with a public presence on the internet, I get a lot of emails.
Hey, it's like Micah Thomas. Guys, we got Micah Thomas on the screen. Shout outs to Micah. Love you, bro.
And usually it's, questions about music or something I've shared, or what is that cool glowy blobby thing on your desk? But in the last couple of years, I've noticed an exponential rise in a very specific
Yo, Gabe,
email.
good to see you,
It goes
bro.
something like this. Hello, Venus. I'm a musician or artist or whatever. I've been doing this for some number of years, blah, 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 blah. Now AI exists, and what's the point in me doing anything? And I think that that sucks on every single layer of existence. But as the self-appointed hairy, thinky man of music and stuff on the internet and aspiring millennial core hipster barista, I have some thoughts I would like to share with the class, if you'll indulge me, when it comes to the question that I guess now defines people as modern artists. What do you do when AI makes better stuff than you?
Let's talk about it. Great atmosphere, great video so far.
If you like what I do around these parts, there's a lot of ways you could support my ability to make more videos like this possible. You could become a patron. Or, of course, you could check out any of my regularly scheduled programming.
Given that we live in the
Sorry, I didn't want to skip past it, but I don't like doing public endorsements on, like, unless I choose to. So.
era of TikTok and the 2x speed play.
Is this Micah Thomas is crazy? Might as well be, right? guys, for those of you who don't know Micah Thomas. That is crazy. That is crazy, actually. That is crazy.
Back button and the inevitable AI generated summary of this video. Before you reach for these things, just know that I believe in you, and I think that you can listen and start to draw your own conclusions from the information I would like to present to you, and that thinking is good for you sometimes. But with respect to all that, I guess to lay
This is like if Micah fused with Adam Neely. Sorry, Adam, don't hate me.
simple foundation here with the
It's like Micah talking like Adam.
litmus test of art, I suppose. Let's say that tomorrow your entire music making setup or whatever was destroyed. The next day, would you then start working to get it back? And if you answered yes, congratulations, friend, you're one of us. Because making art is awesome, and who the fuck cares what other people think?
Sorry, he cussed. I didn't know it was gonna be cussing. I don't cuss. At least not here. Sorry, buddy.
On the other end, if you answered no, then congratulations. You've been spared from living out your days in the existence of being an artist. Long-winded framing device out of the way. One of the things philosophy teaches us is that many of the big questions in life are too hard to answer because they're just too big. Something like, what is the point in making art when AI exists, is a little bit broad. And if we want to answer that question, we have to break it down and attack it from a few different angles of smaller and more manageable chunklets, if you will. So instead of asking that, you have to ask yourself things like, why am I making art to begin with? Who am I making art for? Does my art need to exist publicly would be a good one. And if it does, what am I looking for in doing that? Is it success? And if it is success, what does success actually look like to me as an artist? What might be my most insane and controversial take in music right now is that over time I've somewhat found myself coming around to and agreeing with the CEO of Suno in his absolutely insane interview where he says something to the effect of, most musicians don't enjoy making music anymore. And it's not because of the way he frames his argument, because he's a fucking idiot. It's more that by seeing these questions and emails I've been getting more and more and more over time, it's the foundation of what these questions are wrapped around, in that it's not that people want to make art for art's sake a lot of the time. They only want to make it for the validation they'll receive for having made it. And I think it's because of this
fair point.
Social media epoch we find ourselves in. And
yeah, that's a fair point. That is a fair point, yeah.
That isn't without foundation.
Yeah.
I think it's because we as humans, you know.
If you look at it from that perspective, exclusively, yes.
Want to exist within our tribe and feel like we're a valued member, both for social points and sometimes our economic use to the collective, because we don't want to be exiled to the weird cave off Route 18 with Jerry the Gooner and his harem of My Little Pony.
Please, how you can't just be firing off stuff like that, man. This is a family appropriate stream. You can't be firing off stuff about My Little Pony harems, and it just comes out of, bro. It comes out of nowhere. It comes out of nowhere, bruh.
Pony fleshlights.
Oh, hey, bro. Well, it's a good thing I'm already demonetized like by default, because yeah, that would have been an instant failure.
Think the real problem facing most artists who are in this for the wrong reason
No, you said maybe he's nostalgic. I can't deal with you.
is that they have to confront that this path towards validation has now become even more muddled than ever.
He not wrong. He just saying some sketch stuff.
I think the root of the issue here really comes from a deeper layer of questioning in that why do we bother making it?
Put that in Comic Sans. Was it Bree?
It comes from a deeper layer of questioning in that why do we bother making anything at all against the wave of not only all other art, but now an even bigger wave of an amalgamation of artificial art made from all the art that has ever existed? You know, assuming you have all your basic faculties about you, your mind, your ability to move and speak, and you have free time to do stuff, why bother creating? You know, you could do so many things like build a fence or spray some bleach on a Cybertruck or any number of other more useful things, but instead you chose poor.
If it's not already clear what the political affiliation of this channel is, I think it's pretty clear now. I can't explicitly say that I disagree with all his views, but yeah, you know what side he's on.
And became an artist. So there's got to be something there, I think, you know? And I think it's because that your chosen medium as an artist, in this case music, offers you an ability to translate your abstract ideas into a tangible form. And that alone is what I think separates you from the machines.
Yeah, I also agree with that. But
you might be saying that, of course, not all of us are destined to spawn an entirely new genre of music and that originality is dead. And yeah.
Ooh, I really like where this is going. I hope he touches on, I mean, you know how often we talk about stuff like this, right? So I'm very, what's the word? It's so easy to say in Japanese. You can just say Tanashimi, but like, and it doesn't really mean like a positive thing. Like a kininaru. You can say kininaru. There, yeah. So I'm interested. I'm very interested. That's the word I'm looking for. Interested. Sometimes I can't speak English anymore. Sorry. Okay. I'm very interested in where this goes.
I'd agree with that. I think the thing, though, is there becomes this innate fear when you consider that maybe you work within a genre like techno or bluegrass or something that has some pretty hard set rules of what makes a work of that specific genre. So
ooh, okay. I know this is not what he meant to do, but I want to talk about this a little bit. Notice what he just said. I'm going to back it up a little bit so you can see if you know what I'm going to say. Like
something that has some pretty hard set rules of what makes a work of that specific genre. So
I love that. Like we're not a jazz channel, but most people here are here for jazz, right? So in terms of if you ever want to have like a type of a philosophical discussion or thinking exercise about what is jazz, what makes jazz, well, think about other genres of music, right? There are certain rules that make the music sound like what it does, right? And I guess one of the issues that we have with jazz today is that we don't really follow those rules anymore, but we still use the same name. Isn't that weird? Like we still call it like, even like jazz, we can say jazz is a language, but it's also a music, right? Like you can say that hip hop is a style, is a culture, but hip hop is also music. It's both. Like you can have like hip hop in stuff. You said we don't know what makes jazz. Yes, we do. We do know what makes jazz. We're just avoiding it. We avoid it. Guys, we know exactly what makes jazz. We just don't stick to it. But we still call it jazz. But the irony about that is that the original like the musicians after the jazz age, so we're talking about late 30s, 40s, 50s on, those musicians were not calling their music jazz. Isn't that funny? Like Charlie Parker, Dizzy Gillespie, the bebop musicians weren't calling it jazz. No problem. I mean, it's good to see you. But like, I think it's really interesting. And going forward, yeah, most people didn't call what they did jazz either. Anyway. But yet it stuck because like it's a genre. Like jazz just became anything that is not explicitly one thing and has instruments and some soft sounds in it. That's like what it became. You know. Would you consider metal a subgenre of rock or a different genre to rock? Well, you know what I like? If you make a distinction between rock and roll, then you can start talking. Because that makes sense. I like the idea that rock is like a wide array of like cultural things that has like the guitar and the drums is like a center point, right? The guitar is like the center instrument, you know, and it's like, that's the only thing that like really connects it is the fact that like it's some kind of like guitar based music that has some type of like at least like rhythmic, like it's kind of hard to define. But rock and roll is very easy to define because that is its own genre of music. But like rock has so many different things because rock is like a culture. But jazz is also a culture, and so you can say that like things fit within this. Like, oh yeah, what kind of, you know, this type of jazz. I think if we speak very specifically about the type of music within jazz we're playing, I think that makes sense. Exactly, Bree. Yeah. So rock and roll is its own thing. Rock is like the general thing. And I think we need to do the same thing with jazz. I just want to talk about that because I think it's a really interesting talking point. Is that I think we should do that same thing with jazz. Because then if we did, then it will make a lot more sense. Then we can start talking about jazz in the same way we talk about hip hop, as in like it's a culture. But then there's different types of music within jazz, and we can start calling it for what it is. You know, we call bebop, right? It's still a part of jazz culture, but it's not jazz. It's bebop. Same thing with like, you know, free music, fusion. It's not jazz. It's in the jazz culture, but it's call it its own thing. And I think it would clear a lot of stuff up too. It would make a lot of people. It would make people less angry, like me. It would also make people happier and more content to understand the type of music that's being played. So, I think we should do that. Put salt and peanuts. I love that.
So what do you do then? Because machines are pretty good at replicating something with a lot of patterns. I think the truth here, and I guess the solution, is pretty simple. You just can't outsource your own mind should you choose to use it. When it comes to art, AI has a pretty...
The Jazz Messengers is a reclaiming of the word by Art Blakey. Like, I'm almost certain that Art Blakey is probably one of the main reasons why we continue to use that word for the music. I'm almost positive that's why we do that. But I would need to like... You're making a dad joke, but it's a good joke. It's a good... I didn't know it was... I didn't know it was intended to be a joke. But I think it's worth talking about, so...
Transparent case of, I guess, what I would label as intent deficit. It can only ever have instructions, which makes it a pretty classical case of a philosophical zombie. It can certainly mimic things, but it has no reason for doing so. And when it does, it lives in this hard-walled garden of pure syllogistic logic. If you ask it to make a country song, it knows that a country song is full of fiddles and some asshole whining about how hard it is to be so goddamn country, and that's exactly what it'll give you. It has no reason to do anything but that, and it will never question this.
Jazz was originally J-A... I don't want to like... I don't want to like... I don't want to like keep interrupting the video, but everybody is like, you know, I'm seeing the confusion. Jazz was Jazz first. It was J-A-S-S, then J-A-S-Z, then J-A-Z-Z. The first usage of the term J-A-S-S for this music, I think, was either 1901 or in the late 1890s. It was around that time. I'm pretty sure it was 1901. But there are instrumentalists that did not want to call their music jazz because that was like a new term that people were trying to call the music. And a lot of musicians in New Orleans said that they were just playing rags because that's originally what they were doing. Like a lot, like most of the first, what we call like jazz music was some combination of the blues and, you know, the songs they would play would be rags. Like ragtime, popular ragtime compositions, like for Scott Joplin and stuff like that. So a lot of those musicians didn't want to call their music jazz. They called it rags. They're playing ragtime. That's not a white people thing. That was just what they called it. Hot music.
Fact of the matter is, you're never going to get a country song with a random and completely unnecessary dubstep drop in the middle of it without a human in the driver's seat, even if it is just a human prompting an AI to do that. The AI would never make that on its own because it already knows what a country song is shaped like, and it's just going to keep doing that over and over. To use what may be the most overused philosophical expression of all time, and I am sorry to do this, I think, therefore I am. And to me, therein lies the answer here. All of this stuff is a lot like riding a bike to the top of the mountain in GTA 5 and now deciding that you know what it's like.
That's got to be the reason this guy has subscribers, because he keeps making these types of references that get to people. Like, I don't know, out of all of the serious talk, every like minute and a half, he just jabs you with a reference.
To be a professional mountain biker. While you may have, to some extent, the image of this thing, you do not and cannot have by this process the actual experience. This may be a little bit of a cold shower here, but ultimately art has been down a long and troubled road of being turned into simply a commodity. And when it comes to things like music, you know, the lo-fi hip-hop to study to and whatever that you flick on while you do the dishes, just like a dishwasher is a more efficient appliance to finish these theoretical dishes, the AI art generators are a more efficient appliance for filling this utilitarian side of art. So I think the existential question facing a lot of artists here of what makes their art good against the work of these perfect machines lies in supposing that their work is a utility and not art as an identity. Real art invites conversation. I think that's something we can all agree on. Yeah, and AI art is a lot like trying to have a conversation with an incredibly realistic statue of a human. It's certainly a signal, but it's not real communication. And when it comes to the average listener, in the case of music, now this very composite average version of everything has become infinite, it's instantaneous, and it's basically free. But average isn't interesting. So as a musician, I guess you have to ask yourself, are you making your music to be heard, or are you making it to be listened to? I think there's a very hard distinction between the two. I agree with that.
Philosophically, I agree with that.
Forget to sit down and draw to some extent. So maybe what I'm trying to say here is, and this might be a little bit spicy, maybe AI art didn't kill your career as an artist. Maybe it just raised the bar of how interesting your work needs to be to yourself.
So yeah, I'll let him keep talking, but yeah, this is the take I was talking about. I agree and disagree with that, but maybe we'll talk about that later.
To very, very briefly summarize a guest lecture I've given at a lot of schools and speaking events, I think that as artists, what we chase and the dragon that we're after is not actually perfection, it's just novelty and the pursuit of ideas that we find interesting to ourselves. And in a way, this is why I'm glad this AI shit exists and that it's such a problem right now, because the second you dare to have an original idea...
Why'd you ask ChatGPT? Why don't you just Google it and find articles? I'm not going to harp on that.
Or just a weird little gremlin thought and put that into something. You rise above the infinite noise floor of all of the completely average bullshit out there. And that's a really powerful thought, and I think something that can not only make this one of the most interesting times to be an artist, but one of the most valuable. I think what I'm trying to get at with all this is that now, maybe more than ever, anything as an artist you do that is unique or new or random or weird or just kind of interesting has become inherently valuable again, and it's solved that fundamental supply and demand problem we've all been all too familiar with. And by taking these things that are maybe even an accident or whatever, and excising them to the point of intention, we now separate ourselves from the infinite wave of NPCs we maybe find ourselves up against in the interconnected world of the internet and stuff. And I think that idea is pretty fucking cool. Yeah? You know, as much as I hate to say—
Yeah, I like that take. I do agree with that. There is some hope in that way. However, we have to be careful about the way we think about that hope. It's not just that, oh, because AI is here, now there's room for weird and free stuff and everything that's crazy. It's like, no, you still need to convince people to buy it. Right? So just be careful about that. You still need to convince people that your music is worth buying. So while I agree that the door is open for more creative things to come into the forefront, as long as we're still humans, you can't just program a human to buy your album. You must still do something that people like if you want to have a career. If you don't want to have a career in this music, then you don't have to care about it, and then you don't have to care about what he said. So the AI bros also need to convince people to buy their ad. Yeah, but they're doing a pretty good job of that. We got people using ChatGPT in the chat. You know, I always put in that when you put in dash AI in Google, and then it'll take away it won't turn it off from still scraping, but at least you won't see the AI, which is what I like. So
music is what feelings sound like. It's a very self-helpy bullshit sounding thing, but it is true, and I think it's a beautiful sentiment now against the ocean of AI slop we all find ourselves drowning in, and the cruise ships on top of this ocean of garbage piloted by prompters masquerading as artists proper. I think what I'm trying to get across in all this, and what I hope I do in this video, is that your undeniable power as an artist is to find things people are not looking at and shove it right in their faces. And that's something that a prompt really cannot do, because it requires you to live in service of only what you truly feel.
I don't think personally that is the job of the artist. I don't think that's a responsibility. I think it's dangerous to think that way about art, personally. Oh yeah, and also by the way, I love this guy. I would love to sit down and talk with him because I respect this effort a lot. I like what he's doing. I like all the work he put into it. I like that there's there is a balance between the video feels like art, because it's not just the talk, not just the B-roll and the editing, but the composition of the film, the shot, where he wants to stand, how he wants to present. You know, he really thought about that, which is nice, and I like that. So that's why I would respectfully actually also, voice my concerns and my thoughts about what he's saying. So the only thing I disagree with here in this case is that it's the job. Let me see how he worded it.
Shove it right power as an artist. I think what I'm trying to get across in all this, and what I hope I do in this video, is that your undeniable power as an artist is to find things people are not looking at and shove it right in their faces.
Okay, he talked about power. Okay, all right. I thought I'll back off a little bit. I thought he said your duty or whatever, but he said power. So, I think that is a power you can have. I think you should be careful how you use that. That's how I feel about it.
And that's something that a prompt really cannot do, because it requires you to live in service of only what you truly feel. AI art is here. It exists, and that sucks. Things could be better, but I don't think it's all doom and gloom here. Real art exists as a result of the human condition, and I think ultimately human limitation. AI art is the most perfect and frictionless form of what something could be. And maybe there's a weird doomerist take on all of that and our innate desire to destroy our need to be creative, but maybe that's a different video. What I'm trying to say here is that everything you make is the result of whatever it is that you've experienced and distilled into your own taste. Maybe you're not such a great guitar player, but because you're not such a great guitar player, you have to find a weird way to work around the chords you can't play, and through doing that, you discover the you in your own work. And hot fucking take here, Suno's not gonna do that for you. Okay, it's like 40 degrees, I'm freezing, I need to get out of here, so TLDR time. Real art invites things like introspection and speculation and critique, and generative AI art is just a flawless, perfect form of whatever it was told to be, or it is not. It's truly that binary. Real art is a Rorschach test of the soul, if you will, in that you get out of it whatever it is you want to get out of it. And sometimes it's nothing at all because it's just not that good. And yeah, that's pretty fair. The inconvenient truth that every AI simp on the internet seems to spend their lives and obsession tap dancing around in little circles is that AI art is not a window, it's just a mirror. It's this big dog and pony show package.
Oh! Back that up. Back that up.
Not a window, circles, is that AI art is not a window, it's just a mirror.
Y'all can take that and put that in, bro. Take that, put that anywhere. Say it everywhere. That's fire. He said it better than I ever could have said it. Biggest one. Yeah, man. YouTube Micah Thomas got something going on, man. AI art is not a window. It's a mirror. Because they said like art is like a window to the soul. It's not a window, it's a mirror. Love that.
It's this big dog and pony show packaged and sold to you as a convenient monthly subscription, as though it's an outlet, when in reality it is nothing more than an artifice of its own design. Generative AI art, hot take here incoming, cannot, will not, and won't ever fucking be anything more than an output. It is not actual human expression. The end. I guess what I'm saying here is, what I learned in boating school is that the machine doesn't care. It knows exactly what art is. It has no reason and no ability to question what it could be.
Also, check this out. No script. I'm not saying that he didn't memorize all. He seems pretty galaxy brained. He could have memorized what he wanted to say, but I doubt it. This dude is firing off on all cylinders. Like, it seems very off the cuff. Yeah, it seems very off the cuff. Seems very genuine. Guy's great. I'm gonna check out some more of his videos. It's really nice.
End of story.
Great video. Great video. Sorry, I don't have much else to say about that. Great video. And thank you, Micah. See what else we got in here. Got a Jason Marsalis video on Instagram. How long is this? Man, how come? Oh, wait. I gotta log in. Okay. All right. So somebody posted this video in my Discord. All these videos are coming from my Discord. But someone posted in my Discord this video from Jason. If y'all don't know Jason, he's the youngest of the musician Marsalis brothers, and he's an incredible drummer and vibraphonist. Just amazing musician in general, and amazing mind. Used to run into him a lot when he came to my high school and did wonderful education things. And yeah, we're grateful to have him in the space, and I'm really happy that he's doing something that, you know, a lot of people in his generation are not really doing, and actually taking to social media to get his message out and really market his content. I have a lot of respect for him for that. But let's check out what he has to say. Oh, it's not no audio? Why isn't it? Oh, okay, hold on. All right.
Any of y'all trying to play Giant Steps?
Greetings, my name is Jason Marsalis.
I'm sorry, but the setup is so funny. Does he edit his own videos? The setup is so funny. Wait, the setup is so funny. Like, y'all trying to be Giant Steps? Hello, my name is Jason Marsalis.
Any of y'all trying to play Giant Steps?
Wait, I have to watch that video to get the context? How do I, what's the video? Can you send it to me so I can click on it? I don't want to search things here. Thanks. Where is it? You say you put it in Discord. Where is it? First message of today? Oh!
Any of y'all trying to play Giant Steps?
That's all you guys ever want to do is just call train songs and play fast. How would you call a real song?
Man, we ain't played a ballad in a bit. How about moving Indigo then?
Oh my god, a ballad at a jam session? Are you stupid? Why don't you call it an actual tune?
Alright, man. How about we do shooting the mellow tone, man? That's a little chill.
Mellow tone ain't too bad.
A beginner song? Really? I'm not in the 9th grade.
Hey, bro.
Is that the only song? Oh my gosh, your repertoire sucks.
He's saying what everybody he's saying what people think. It's so funny.
Okay, man, what you want to play, bro? What do you want to do?
Well, I think we should do a real tune like Spain. Everybody.
We're still doing this? We're still doing this? We're still doing this?
Spain. It's the greatest song that's ever been written.
You know, hey, I'll sit on this next one, man. Y'all got it.
Okay, fine. I understand. Nobody wants to play Spain. Well, how about Strasbourg?
Everybody here came to see your pinhead ass play Strasbourg.
2, 1, 2, 3.
There's so much youth. I'm like, it's hard to keep up. You suck. Mad respect for like they took pictures of of Smalls to put as the green screen background for like that's whoever did this is like wait, TJ, is this you? TJ, is this you? Because like I don't know, because I just realized your name is down here, but even without knowing who this was, I was just like mad respect to like who put in the work to do this. And if that was you, that's crazy. That's actually amazing. Like, actually, like you, like took picture. Good job, dude. There's so much youth, I can't keep up. But the pictures taken of the background they use as a green screen, and then like the act, it's great. It's good. All right, so now that I get the context, let's go to what Jason said about it. Yeah, of course, bro. Of course, bro. We love to see people actually putting in work. It's very creative.
Any of y'all trying to play giant steps?
Sorry. The transition always gets me.
Greetings, my name is Jason Marcellus, and when I read 2 comments on that video, I said, all right, I'm making a video right now. That video makes a great point about jam sessions. Now, there's been a lot of talk about jam sessions since that infamous incident at Small that happened at the end of the year. Even though that was a month ago, it was the end of the year. But I did want to elaborate on what he talks about. It's about how nobody knows the tunes to call, and there becomes a debate about what to play and so forth. And I'll admit, I did see that happen on one of my own gigs. This was a long time ago.
Yeah. It happens on every gig. Absolutely.
First started leading bands, and I was relying on the guys in the band to
Wait, that was an accident, but what was that? That was an accident, but what the heck was that? What is that? Well, I guess that's my For You page.
Tunes or the call tunes, that was a mistake. That shows you how long ago this was. And they're debating on what to play.
Hey, that's proof. That's proof that and this is the J music. This is not even mine. So that's 2 accounts that I'm safe on. I bet none of y'all would do that on stream.
I don't like this tune and this and that. And the reason that this happens goes back to a point that I made about community. When I mentioned that this is a community music in a very uncommunity time, well, the jam session is actually a good example of that. See, we have like 100 years worth of tunes, at least. And so there's all these tunes to choose from. And so what will happen is you'll have guys that maybe don't know this tune, or maybe one knows this, but the other one doesn't know that, because there's just that many tunes to choose from. And to be honest, we don't really learn tunes nowadays. There was
Yes, and absolutely yes. Why don't we do that? What happened? Why don't we learn tunes these days? That's yes, absolutely. Ask anybody who's had a lesson with me in the past and recently. First thing I say, if we talk about, as soon as we start talking about like, oh, how should I improvise? I want to be more melodic. You got to learn more tunes. I said that at almost every lesson that I had this week. Yeah, you got to learn more tunes. Like, how do you be more melodic? Learn more melodies. It's that simple.
a time where guys would learn songs, or guys would learn tunes off of records, or maybe guys would learn arrangements that somebody did off of a record. And for various reasons that I don't have time to get into in this video, we don't really learn tunes like that. And that's why you get these situations.
When he says learning tunes, does he mean tunes coming out of right now? I met a bunch of musicians already that know a ton of tunes. I mean, I don't know what he's talking about. Like, I can't say what's in his mind. I don't want to speak for him. But my assumption is that he means tunes in the canon. Or like tunes, like just tunes. It can be tunes coming out right now too, but as me and you have talked about before, there's not a lot of playable tunes. A lot of tunes are like heavily, like, they're not really a lot of tunes coming out right now. It's a lot of songs that are like fully arranged, like through composed songs. But yeah, I mean, there are plenty of tunes that people can't learn, but I think the point is not, it doesn't matter where you're learning from. Just like in your pastime, right? Like in your free time, do you like scroll TikTok, or are you sitting like, you know, playing games, or are you sitting down and be like, I want to learn this tune? You know what I'm saying? Like you can like straight up just learn tunes for fun. It is true. I know a lot of people that used to do that. I even used to do that back in the day. That's why I know a lot of random trad tunes that people don't know, because I used to just learn tunes for fun. So yeah, people don't really learn tunes like as a thing. They only learn what they think they have to know, and then that's it. It's true. A lot of people don't like learn a lot of tunes.
Of what happened in that video. Oh, in the video I did on this jam session of this drummer that basically was sabotaging it, and I just said, I can't put up with this anymore. Before they started playing, there was a similar situation. I didn't hear the conversation, but you could see it. What about this tune? No, what about that tune? Do you know that? No, do you know that? No. How about a blues? Okay. And I can tell you, there was one commenter that mentioned,
it's always a blues. Nobody don't know jack squat, and it always comes down. Let's just play a blues. It's always, guys. If you ever feel bad about this, this happens at every level. This is not just a beginner thing. This happens on every level. I've had this situation almost more with pro players, because ain't nobody listen to the same music. we all love like random tunes, but you know, there's like certain, if it's not being called at the sessions, people ain't gonna learn them. It's true.
That he called the blues at a session and he got vibed. And if it's
that's weird. That's a different case.
Jazz nerds, then they're being evil. But I can imagine if you're trying to call something and nobody knows tunes, and then people settle up on a blues, I can understand groaning, saying, oh Lord, a blues, really? Okay. Now, at the same time, back in, say, the 1950s, there was more of a community in the music, and you had guys that knew more tunes.
Yes.
So, for example,
yes,
I was listening to a recording of this standard, It's You or No One.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many guys know that tune today, but
that's sad. Really? Guys, chat. We got players in the chat. We got cats, right? How many of y'all know Is You or No One? That's like, everybody used to at least, like, there was, you know, there's a famous, right? The famous recording that we all love with the C pedal on downbeats. Boom, 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 boom. Dexter Gordon. That's great. Like, wow. Of course, as I'm talking about Dex. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, so it's interesting. It's just like tunes we used to know, right? Well, I'm not talking about beginners, y'all. I'm not talking about, you said you're 1 year into. I'm not you don't have to be ashamed. I'm not talking about you like you probably don't even know Billy's Bounce. That's fine. Like, you're still learning. But I'm talking about like people that have been playing, right? Like, it's a thing about people who like have been playing this music, you know, like, but they know Cherokee 1942 Bird, but they don't know Coco, like that type of thing.
But man, I know in the 1950s, cats were calling that one, because you can find recordings of Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers, the Ahmad Jamal Trio, and others I'm not even thinking about.
I love that song, man. I love it.
So back then, you had standard songs that guys knew. Now, a lot of those songs were popular, meaning they were in musicals or they were on the hit parade. So you'd have guys that were hearing those tunes, so they would know them. So you could go up there and call a tune like that, or call a tune like If I Could Write a Book. And you'd have guys that would just know it. And there's also generational aspects that you have to think about. Because, of course, in that video, there is the joke now about, should we call Chick Corea's tune Spain? Now, trust me, in the 1970s, I know that was getting called. Because, I mean,
it's still getting called in Japan. That's probably the most popular song in Japan. That's probably the most popular, like, jazz-adjacent tune. Like, if we're going to call, like, the world of jazz, it's probably the most... the rankings, the top 3 songs in Japan, I'd say, that are everywhere, that especially the old heads love. Number 1 is Spain. Number 2 is Monin. Number 3 is Bolivia. That's like, those are like the songs. You can't escape those songs. Like, but Bolivia, that's like definitely the old head thing. But Yeah, Spain is every. You talk about like that song was getting called like the. I mean, if we're talking about self-taught legend, he just got some. He's just at the book of flight to Tokyo, and he'll be good to go. He'll play it at every session he goes to.
Spain was a big hit, and it was really popular. Now, on Chick Corea's recording, it does start off with Concerto de Arguez. Okay.
You say you love that I said jazz adjacent. Yeah, because like I don't think Chick would call it jazz. Like it's fusion. Yeah, it's fusion.
Like, that's technically not Spain, but he does start the piece with Concerto de Arguez, which, ironically enough, Miles Davis did his version on Sketches of Spain. So maybe somebody knows that because that was a popular record. You see where I'm going with this? There's all these records and options we have to choose from. So that's the thing. But I think by the time you get to...
Definitely not the Charles... No one's calling Charles Mingus Moanin' except for high school Barry players at like Allstate. No one's calling that. That's not like when you say in the jazz world, when you say Moanin', you don't distinguish between the two. You know which one. It's Art Blakey.
I don't know. I think 90. I'm going to just say 2000 just to be on the safe side. I can see guys not knowing Spain. In fact, a musician, and this was a couple of years ago, told me that he got a reminder of how old he was because he had told the drummer about, we're going to play Spain. And the drummer didn't know what Spain was. And he said, because he remembered the time when Spain was really popular. And so he said, okay, well, I'm up there in age, But what he's talking about has to do with the aspect of lack of community. There's all these tunes, there's all these possibilities, and you're going to get some who know this and some who don't know that. So, yeah, and it can be a tough thing. I think that it is good for jam sessions to have a house band and guys that know tunes. But as for that video, what he's talking about is a very real thing. And once again, lack of community.
Yes. We talked about this on the birthday stream. Not even on the Clips of the Week stream. It was before that, birthday stream. And actually, I think in the last week stream too, we talked about this. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Now it's making me think I should actually just straight up I should finally take the time I have this week to make that video. I'm going to start making that video series. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I figure out a way to do it. I'll figure it out. Yeah. Yeah. We have to have the recommended tunes list. It needs to happen. We got to start the record because like there's no way it's just the nature of the way things are right now. It's not, the world is really big. The world is really big. It's not as small as it used to be anymore. People are able to access the internet and find what they want faster than they're able to get on a plane and go to a community where there's like jazz musicians discussing popular tunes. So it's just how it is, unfortunately. Makes sense though. Yeah. I mean, Jason's right. Everything he's saying is right. I mean, he's always right. Yeah, the option. Thank you. You know what? Can you guys actually be nice if you're not in the Discord. First of all, if you're not in the Discord already, join the Discord. I want to maybe this week. We haven't done one this month. We did one. Did we do one last month? Did we do a Talkspace last month, or was the last one in November? I don't think we did a Talkspace last month. I don't think we had time to do that. I wanted to, but I don't think we did. The last one was in November, I think. Let's do a Talkspace this month. I want the topic of the Talkspace to be, I want you guys to share your stories with me about your experience because I want to know more about what it feels like for y'all as young people to have option paralysis. Because it's something that people my age and older don't understand. Like we understand like on a small scale. We understand like not, the option paralysis of like something to eat or something, but not like on, not on something that really has no bearing on your life. Like it's just, it's just fun to do. Not even option paralysis on what to eat. Like we understand option paralysis on like what career field is viable or like whether you should have kids or not. Like, I don't know, just like, you know, just stuff like that. But for what to listen to, it's foreign to me. So like, I want to know, because I think this is an important conversation for us to have, because I think older people and old people, not just old people that are slightly older than me, like in their 40s, they can't help. It's impossible for people in my age group and older to help everybody unless an honest conversation from this perspective is had. Because I think a lot of young people might be also afraid to talk to older people about this. So maybe I can, you know, I'm at the age of, like, to most of y'all, of being like big brother. Like that's the age I'm at. I'm not quite unk. I mean, I'm unk to some, like, to the high school kids, I guess, but I'm not quite unk to y'all that are in your 20s. You know, but I'm also old enough to like have some type of sway and talking power with people that are older than me. So I would love to like try to be that voice for y'all, because I think we need to actually like talk about this. We need to do this because this is the only way I think we'll get better and move forward. It's okay to be hunk. That's not the camera quality. That's not dust. I got 6 white hairs in my beard. It's crazy. But anyway, yeah, I think, you know, join the Discord, man. Because I think it's something that, like, this is the only way. I think, to me, this is absolutely the most important thing going forward. When it comes to learning jazz, we have to tackle this. We got to tackle option paralysis. We got to tackle this thing. We got to tackle this anxiety in young people. We got to tackle this. For everybody. So, you're ascendant, remember? Yes, I do remember that. Somebody said everyone who's over 30 is ascendant. But anyway, yo, great week today. This is awesome. Thank you for tuning into Clips of the Week. I'll see y'all again next week. See you again on Monday. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be fun for 11. Also, what's going on over here? Thank you. All right. And also, yeah, I think this week will actually, finally. I couldn't do it last time because of lessons I had to teach. But finally, I'll be able to do this weekend and do some VOD review. Finally, we'll get back into it. We'll finally get into VOD review again. So, yeah. You guys are awesome. Appreciate you. Join the Discord, and once again, this VOD will be uploaded for patrons later tonight. Oh no, I just spilled a little water. Wow. 1 second. Guys, appreciate you. I'll see y'all later. I gotta clean up a water spill. Bye.